let's move on. So also this week, a one of Trump's many former personal lawyers, Emil Bove, was voted in a very narrow 50-49 vote by the Senate to a lifetime appointment on the Philadelphia-based Third U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, with only Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins of Maine joining Democrats in the opposition. So this guy Bove, and let's there we go. Let's put him up on the screen for you folks who are watching. Just a ghoul of a man. This guy Bove overcame fierce opposition from Democrats who walked out in protest when the Senate Judiciary Committee advanced his nomination, and more than 900 former Justice Department employees accused Bove of undermining the integrity of the department, including this is a great quote. Bove told the attorneys under him in the DOJ that they would need to consider telling the courts, quote unquote, fuck you, and ignore any such court orders telling them to turn deportation planes around. Bove is also responsible for ordering prosecutors to drop the corruption case against New York Mayor Eric Adams, and he spearheaded the firing and doxing of January 6 prosecutors and FBI agents. So, very extreme individual. Jennifer, have you been paying attention to this Bove confirmation?
No. I have not at all. Not at all.
Well, yes. Apparently, neither was, say, Indiana Senator Todd Young, who claims to be independent and claims to be a principled conservative, and yet voted for this guy in the face of, like we said, 900 former Justice Department employees saying this guy does not believe in the rule of law.
Have there been any
nominations? Not
nominations?
surprising.
Has there been any nominations that haven't gotten through? I mean, because I think it doesn't really matter what these people carry along with them. It's like the more you got, the more likely you're going to get voted in.
Like we talked about with Brown and others, you've got to stay 100% in line. Todd Young and others try to have it both ways. I mean, he could have gone with Murkowski and Collins and voted no if he had a conscience. There must be somebody somewhat less extreme than Bove. But
the Republican Party is going to look very different by the end of this year. I'm sure. It just keeps evolving. Either the ones that are staying there, that are selling their soul to the devil, or all the newcomers that he's pulling in, because really in the end, it's really allegiance to Donald Trump that is the number one thing, period.
Yeah. Speaking of selling your soul to the devil, now, if you're listening to this, you cannot appreciate this. But if you're watching, we've got a picture of Emil Bove up on the screen. That man is 44 years old. And I think when he sold his soul to the devil, the first thing Satan asked for return is about 25 years off this dude's face.
Maybe he already knows. Yeah, you can tell with presidents, like when they start office and then you see pictures of them afterwards, just the amount of stress, what it does physically to their body. We should start doing that with some of these people with Trump, like at nomination time. And then when they finally get fired or whatever happens, or the people come.
The man looks like he sleeps in a coffin. and so, Derek,
look, making fun of people, how they look, will come back to bite to haunt you. So I'm not.
Listen, you know what? In this case, I'm okay with that. I'm punching up.
I got in trouble for saying something about RFK, and I'm autistic, and I was saying something about him, and I had another person very upset with me about it.
I've had the same thing.
Listen, there are worse things about RFK than his vocal quirks, but
Okay,
know
you knew
what?
exactly what I was talking about.
I think you have to deal with these people on their level sometimes. Trump has
Yeah.
made his name in politics over the last 10 to 15 years just insulting people. I don't know, man. People
He
seem to
would look
like it.
good. He would
So,
look good in that
Emil
new.
Bove is a ghoul. Derek, by putting this guy in a lifetime appointment on the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, are they setting up this ghoul to replace Clarence Thomas or Sam Alito on the Supreme Court?
Okay.
Oh, let's
Is he worse?
pray to
Is he
whatever
worse?
higher power that you believe in. That does not happen. Yeah, this guy's extreme. I mean, it's yeah. I really hope not, but I could see it. I could see it happen in have 5 Trump appointees on the bench.
So we've had, 30 years now of Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court.
Yep.
He's getting up there. It's about time for him to, roll off in his big um corrupt RV that he likes to drive around, and imagine another 30 years, 35, 40 years of Emil Bove on the high court, if you will. Scott, do you care to even
Yes.
entertain that that possibility?
So if you look at there's a book called Geniuses, and it talks about how we got here. And we got here by the Koch brothers and other conservatives seating the courts back in the late 60s and 70s. And among the things that they did was promote all kinds of interesting, what we would call today a meme, and what was then a legal principle. Things like the idea that a corporation has no obligation other than to its shareholders, right? That a corporation has no social responsibility, right? Now, I'm old enough, I'm 57, that I remember when corporations actually weren't all bad, right? It used to be that you had a big corporation, they were a member of the community, they would give money to local little leagues, they would do civic and you don't see that now. Now it's purely about the bottom line, right? And that served the Koch brothers because their corporations are are private, and they can just be, behind the scenes. And they want business like that to be focused on the bottom line, so it doesn't make them look bad. Now you put this guy on the Supreme Court, he is going to continue this principle. And as Democrats, I say it's a real simple thing. Dump term limits. Get rid of the lifetime appointment, and then expand the court. Let's put 20 justices on the court, right? Let's change the composition of the court on a fundamental basis. They want to go and seed with ideologues like this. We have to do better. We have to go further. We cannot accept the way the world is today. By accepting it, we automatically lose.
Yeah, if you follow that thread from the early 70s, like you're talking about with the Koch brothers and the Lewis Powell memorandum to the Chamber of Commerce, the founding of the Heritage Foundation, and then in the late 70s, you've got a couple of seminal Supreme Court cases in Buckley and Bellotti that sort of paved the way for Citizens United, and now you have 50 years of extremism reaching their kind of logical conclusion in this Bove guy getting a lifetime appointment and potentially a Supreme Court appointment down the line. Very scary stuff. And that's what happens when you let big money, do the driving. And